Welcome to this Zentangle Quickie. My name is Heather Hartwick Gladden. I'm a certified Zentangle teacher, and today we're going to take a look at the tangle Capel from CZT Anita Roby-Lavery. And I hope I pronounced that right. Okay. I try to mix things up, and I'm like, wait, what did I do? I can't even remember what I did yesterday. Oh, yeah, that's right. And I love the name of yesterday's was Sloop Loop. And if you missed it, here is it singly. Here is it as a quartet. And yeah, that was yesterday's video. I was trying to mix it up, and so today I was kind of looking for a fill-in tangle and something that's I just wanted a pattern. You don't have to think about too much. And this Capel, and when is it from? Like 2011 or something like that. And I'm like, I don't remember. Oh no, 2012. I don't remember if I've seen this one before. But then again, there are lots of tangles from individual tanglers and CZTs on tangle patterns. All right, so I know what I'll do. Okay, so I'm gonna use the whole tile, and it's a kind of grid pattern. I think I've seen a name for this, but it's just kind of like in rows, a row grid pattern. Say that 5 times fast. Yeah. And I'm going to leave the center just a little bit wider because I want to show you, because this part is easy. So you could do this and then do the rest of the pattern. And on my version of the step out, that's basically what I do. I take us through doing it this way. And then at the end, I have more play because I really liked, that's part of what attracted me to the tangle was Linda's little thumbnail picture on the, well, you'll see it there on the link. So I thought, well, let's do that here because I think it's fun. Still start this way. And then, and this, you can decide which side of the line you have already to put this on. And I think I'm going to go with this side. And we're going to just make a double line. And I'll do this side. And of course, you could just, do it as you're going. Of course. All right, then we're going to put orbs in. And let's see if I can get these nicely spread out. This is what I did because well, if you don't know, now you will know. You know me. We're not going to mark anything. We're not measuring anything. This is Zentangle. I know some that do, and it's fine to do that. It's kind of an internal joke in our Tangle Addicts community because some of us are like hardcore, no. And my caveat is unless you're doing Zentangle inspired art, of course, that all bets are off because that's different. This, if you want to use it as a meditation, we want to take any thoughts, any planning thoughts out of, just eliminate the things that would cause us to plan or worry about perfection. That's where I was going. So that's why I do this. But I decided, okay, let's do either side. And then, although I could have probably put one in the middle, I probably fit 5, but let's just do the 4 since I've started it this way. And notice the size of the orb doesn't matter. And even the evenness of the orbs doesn't matter. Nice thing is if you can do it once and then just kind of eyeball, do the next row. And especially with a double line in there, you really don't have to worry about spacing. All right. And you know what? If you end up with orbs, really out of whack, then what we do is we call that either up to you. It can be, this would be crazy Capel or drunk Capel. Either way. Maybe it depends on the degree of how they're spread out. We can justify anything. Come and join us on Thursdays. It's free. It's called Tangle Time. Tangle online with me and all of the Tangle family. And if I could get, okay, let me move my finger up here. I have to make sure to put this in the book I'm working on. I can't remember if I had it in there or not, but note to self. Well, no, yeah, we talk about it. I'd have to make sure that there is a list of Tangle Addicts isms, or a conversion chart. That might be better, because we changed wonky to whimsical. Sloppy, I changed that to rustic. Now it depends, if the sloppy looks a little more, Dr. Seuss like, then we could call that whimsical. It's okay. It's just, you have a variety of terms to choose from, and it's fun. All right, so as I'm yapping about that, here's what I did. I put lines in between. You could see, going in the same direction, hollowing underneath those orbs. Okay, and I aimed for the center, and kept going. And I'm sorry for those that tangle along. I apologize. I hope that didn't mess you up. Me just going ahead while I'm on my little soapbox. And I won't tell you which one. But on one of them on my version of the step out, it was like, okay, well, this line is just slightly going this way, slightly going that way, and don't worry about it, because when it's playtime, you could fill in all of these orbs and then readjust them as needed. You could change the shape of them. I might do that in this one, just because I really liked how it turned out. Okay, next step is we're going to do essentially the same thing we did here, but the other direction, and also hollowing under these two lines that we made. And again, so I'm just going center-ish, here, center, and then coming out of the center. Like that. Well, let me see which direction I'm going to go with these. And this is why I said it's, well, there's one right there. We just lifted it up a little bit, because I kind of kept it somewhat even to this, but yeah, it's slightly raised so that it can meet up there. You can kind of maybe make it a game if perfectionism is a serious issue in your head. I poke fun at it because I've been practicing for 13 years. Well, no, almost 13 years now, and after a while, well, that not just with Zentangle, actually really prior to that, even with music, there, sometimes you just get a philosophy, and that's my philosophy. So in music, well, especially in a rehearsal setting, I would always, if I was going to make mistakes, I'm not going to hide them. Because a lot of times you don't, well, you're doing it as you're doing it, sort of, but, so it's like, I'm not going to worry about reeling it back. I'll just make them loud and proud, is what I say. And when I was in college, and I know I had mentioned it to like our orchestra director or something like that. We were talking, so he knew my philosophy, because otherwise it just gets stuck in your head, and it's just, we don't want that. And so that, kind of, it's all carried over. So I make fun, and I like to find games with it, but I know that some have a serious issue. And so I just challenge you, stick around, come on Thursdays, or Tough Tangle Tuesday, or if you want to, subscribe to the subscription club, or, take an additional class here or there, up to you. But I challenge you to find a way to kind of make a game out of it. It'll help for real. All right. And make light. That's why when my brand of Zen is different than probably most others. Maybe there's some that do this. I mean, we laugh, we have fun. It's just we just don't take ourselves too seriously, which definitely helps in that the pursuit of avoiding perfectionism. All right, I think I am gonna, because I don't like this one. So as I mentioned, now we're at the playtime. This is it. And I mentioned, which way did I do it? Oh, it doesn't matter. I always look over and say, okay, where do I want to start with some kind of decoration, filling in, or something? because I don't like whatever it is. Actually, so if I do here, skip, oh, that'll cover that one too. Good. All right, so I'm going to start here. One thing, as I mentioned, you can just change the shape if you don't like it. So you see, I've kind of boxed that in. And you could do this to begin with, like with intent. And I'm going to skip every other one because I think that looks neat. You could do this with intent and start off with, oh, I'm going to do an orb and a diamond, or, maybe it's a square or something like that. Up to you, whatever you want to do. But I do like to make sure to show course corrections. And even filling it in as an orb, all by itself, you can make it a little bit bigger if you need to. And that helps. Or if it's like, okay, this is really off center. Well, like this one, if I was filling this in, I could, depending on everything else, I could maybe bring it up this way a little bit. It would make it a bit bigger. Well, actually, there I could have started the diamond too. And then, I'm doing mine where they have some kind of order. Do you have to have order? No. You can do whatever you want. So also I'm going to have 3 here. I don't know, call it some kind of a code. Or decide maybe you're going to change all of them because, well, that's what's going to fix things, to make it the way you want it. And there you go. Sometimes it's hard coming up with different ideas. And that's why I like to throw them out there. Because if it doesn't have to be just be for this tangle, there's a lot of other ones where you can, feel free to change the shape. It works just fine. Okay, now let's do some shading. And so you could attack this 2 ways. I do like the way it turned out. So I'm going to do it the same way. One thing you could do is, if you wanted, you could fill that all in. You could fill it in solid with ink. You could also do it with the graphite. What I am going to do, though, actually, let me put some over here. I should have put a line, but it's okay. There's a line there. We're just pretending. And if I can get the tile to stop moving. All right, and I'm putting it only on the one side because I'll put it on the other, I'll flip it and then put it on the other side. All right, I poked this one out. The tips of these, if you've not tried it before, sometimes I will actually leave, so I have a big paper clip. And unfortunately, the end gets jumped in. And that's a trick of a Tortillion trick, is you stick something in there. I have also used like a toothpick, and then, maybe we'll cut it off so I can just leave it in there, because I can leave the toothpick in there. It gives a little bit of structure. It just depends on how your Tortillion is. It's like that. It's still kind of floppy. Sometimes I can get it right in. Oh, I might have done it right in that tip, and it's just nice. But sometimes, like having this, because it kind of sticks out funny, makes it a little awkward. But that's why, like I said, I've used a toothpick and just cut it off so it's in there. But there's a little bit of drawback with it, is because then it kind of makes it a little bit hard. Oh, and then it wears through. That was the other thing. So, they're not really expensive. But at the same time, it's like, well, I want it to last just as long as it can last. And I do like to have a nice tip on mine. So it'll, it's nice to use ones that, are, well, not necessarily all the way mashed in, but ones that, have a little bit thicker tip. There's other uses for those, like right there. Here's one. It is interesting. This is one of those really small ones. I bought some really small ones, and thinking that oh, they'll be so lovely for getting into these small spaces, but they seem to be a lot more floppy. They get a lot more floppy earlier than some of these thicker ones. It's just interesting. Look at how that neat wave is happening in there. It's just making, well, look, you could look at it two ways. It's recessed, it's by these rails, and so it kind of makes it look wavy, which is interesting. Or I think if I bring the graphite out a little bit more, it could give it kind of that shadow box look as well. It might help that if it was to have, on a bigger scale, when we have done that and have that look, it seems like usually it's when, that line has a little bit of curve to it. But it's still, I think it looks neat. Super cool. And again, I'm sure that there are hundreds of ways that you could come up with to do this. I had thought, and I'm going to try it right now. I'm just going to bring a little bit of graphite into the other side. Because what's interesting is it's kind of like floors, sort of, at least where the diamonds are, the tangle floors, if you're familiar. It's a Zentangle, original tangle. But we, the way the line is constructed, we're skipping an intersection. Even if you have even if you don't do those rails, you have that, this line that doesn't have anything on it. So it's just, so normally, here's what I was going to say. Normally, I would shade along the grid lines, and it creates a neat look. I just wanted to bring it in on those lines. Well, then I don't have anything on here. But that's okay. I'm going to leave it because I think it looks neat. All right. I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, please click on the like button. If you liked it enough to see more, would love to have you be a subscriber to the channel. As I mentioned, links are in the description section. And then below that, I didn't mention this yet. I mentioned classes and to come join us. How you find those is to click on my link tree, which is, like I said, is below the links to the step outs. You will find places, there's some links I have it labeled for classes, and then I have some different platforms there where I post. Also, I do have them listed generally on my website. I'm working on getting that updated, but for the free classes, I do put current links in there. If you have a problem, refresh your browser and go back, because sometimes I change it a little bit too close to the start of the class, but just know that, refresh or something, and it should be fine. What else? I mentioned our Tangle Addicts community. We have a group on Facebook. You can join us there too. The link is there, and there are 4 questions once you click that link that you have to answer in order to gain entry. There's other stuff on there. Shopping links. I've curated some lists of products that I use, things that other of our Tangle Addicts have used and given good reviews to. So they're just lists, and you'll see them. You'll see the Amazon store link on there, and some other ones. So have fun with that, and maybe we'll see ya if we haven't yet on a Thursday. That would be so fun. And when you do join in, if you've not joined us before, and I do them twice. It's same content. It's just double the fun. Make sure to let me know if you've never joined before and you're joining, and you heard this. It's always nice to know. All right. So like, share, subscribe. Feel free to leave comments. I do try to get to answering comments and, and having a fun conversation there. And yeah, I think that's it. So with that, thank you so much for watching, and I wish you happy tangling.